Shavua Tov, everyone. Welcome to Till's Tell Stories for Saturday night. The title of this week's video is The Secret of Lavish Hospitality. I adapted it from one of the English Baba Sali books, which unfortunately is not in my possession at this moment, so I'm unable to tell you its title. A frequent visitor to the apartment of Rabbi Yisrael Abba Katsera, known as Baba Sali, once remarked that he was always amazed at the warm hospitality that was the hallmark of Baba Sali's home. This man witnessed thousands of people pass through the portals of this holy house, and everyone was offered food and drink. This began early in the morning and continued until late at night. Many of the visitors would also be invited for entire meals. In his heart, he wondered why Baba Sali treated all his guests with such generosity and honor. It seemed to him such a waste. Even the wealthy did not display such opulence openly. However, he did not feel comfortable to ask Baba Sali this question. One evening, Baba Sali asked this frequent visitor to stay overnight. The young man did so, even though he did not exactly understand why Baba Sali wanted him to stay. Rabbi Yisrael Abba Katsera, known as Baba Sali, was born on Rosh Hashanah in the year 1889, on the 4th of Shvat. In 1984, he left this world, and this year, the 4th of Shvat, was this past Thursday. He was born in Tafilat, Morocco, to one of Jewry's most illustrious families. Even as a young age, he was renowned as a sage, miracle worker, and master Kabbalist. In 1964, he moved to Eretz Israel, eventually settling in 1970 in Nativot, the southern development town he made famous, and where, since 1984, his tomb has become one of Israel's most visited pilgrimage sites. The next morning, after Shacharis, the early morning prayer, Baba Sali called his overnight guest to his side, opened a Gemara, that is from Talmud Bavli, the tractate Ketubot, Daf, page 67, side A. And Baba Sali began to read it to him. About this particular episode. A very poor man came to visit the great Talmudic sage Rabbi Rava and to ask for help. Rava challenged the man. It is known that you always feast on the most exotic foods and the finest wines. But if you are so poor, why don't you consider the people who give you charity and have to pay a lot for your costly food? Why don't you eat simple food and not put everyone to so much expense? The poor man shrugged and responded, if God created the food and it is available, why should I push away the generous bounty of the Creator? At that very moment, Rava's sister came in. She had not seen her famous brother, the great and holy Rava, for a long time, and so she had brought him gifts of exotic foods and fine wines. As soon as Rava saw this, he set the table and served the poor man himself, saying, that my sister brought all of this, and just now, is a sign from heaven that you have indeed been decreed to eat such foods, just as you said. So here, eat whatever and however much you wish until you are completely satisfied. Baba Sali closed the Gemara and turned to the young man. Know that whatever I have been given, he said, it's not for me, but for those who happen to be in my house at the time. In truth, this house is not my house. It is the house of the one above. And all his people are welcome to come and eat to their heart's content. And that is why there is so much. It's theirs, not mine. The guest, who had never told Baba Sali or anyone else his misgivings, rose to his feet in awe. May the merit of the awesome Baba Sali continue to intercede for the Jewish people and to protect us. Shavua Tov. Have an excellent week.